This is a video by Richmond. Today we are working on a Chevy Impala. This happens to be a 2009 model. And we have a check engine light on this vehicle. So we're going to get in there today and see what's going on. Here is the code we got from the car. P2440, secondary air injection system, switching valve stuck. Open bank 1. That code is saying that this air check valve is open right here, right there. So what we want to do is we want to check that first, see if it's receiving air from the air pump. So we want to have the engine cold, preferably in the morning, and we want to start it up, follow this piece right down here to the air pump, open the hood, start it up, and we want to hear that air pump working down there. Now if the air pump is working, then that valve is most likely the problem. Here are the parts we'll need. This is the air injection valve right here. It is AC Delco number 2142302. And we'll need a gasket. And this is the gasket we'll need. 219600. Those are AC Delco part numbers. Now the first thing we got to do is disconnect the negative battery cable from the battery, because we'll be dealing with electrical connectors we're going to be taking off. Now once we do that, we want to take the top of the engine cover off. That plastic piece just pops off after you take the fill cap out of the way. Now once we do that, we want to remove the air duct, mass airflow part of the airbox cover, because there is one bolt underneath there, so we have to get at that. Alright, let's start with this air inlet to the air pump. We squeeze this little retainer right here, slide it off. Alright, put that out of the way. Next thing we need to do is to remove this plastic line right here. You'll feel this little piece underneath there, and you'll slide it towards the center of the engine, and that will release the latching mechanism. Don't stretch it too much because it's plastic. Now once we got those things out of the way, we want to remove our electrical connector. There's a little gray lock right here. I'm going to use my panel remover, and you might have to push the little piece in here if it doesn't come up on you. Sometimes you might have to push that piece right there because it is a lock. Panel remover works good. There's our lock. Once we get that out of the way, we can push the button in and lift up on our electrical connector. Alright, let's put that out of the way. Alright, now I'm using a 8mm socket on a nut driver here. Loosen that clamp up, like so. Now we have these little spring latches right here. Hold the cover on. Okay. Let's slide this hose off here. Okay, there we go. And we're all out. Now here's the bolt we have to get at on this pipe right here. It's 10mm. Make sure you don't drop it. There's a lot of places for it to go down here. There we go. Next we need to remove the electrical connector from our valve, just like that. Next thing we need to do is to remove these two 10mm nuts that secure this small pipe right there. We need to remove those nuts now. Next thing we need to do is to remove this hose from that silver pipe that goes up to the valve. There is a plastic retainer right here, and you'll squeeze it like this and then pull the hose off. I use my left hand to help me pull the hose off. Squeeze that retainer. There we go. Just a little wiggle, and she's all off. Now to remove the top bolt, you can go in there with just a regular 15mm socket and a ratchet. Now the bottom two bolts are underneath that exhaust crossover pipe, so you want to use something like this. I've got a 6-inch straight extension with a wobbler extension on it to give me the angle I need to get at least one of those bottom bolts. It makes it easy on the other one also. Alright, our bolts are out. So now we got to get the valve out. We'll have to get it off the studs there first on the bottom. Okay, there she is. Now we got to clean the gasket. Take the gasket off there, put our new gasket on before we put our new valve in. Okay, we got our new gasket all in place. Ready to go. Put the new valve in. Alright, it's time to put in our new valve. Okay, we got it lined up on the studs. Alright. Now let's start our bolts. Okay, line up the rest of the bolts and tighten everything up. Our valve is all in place, all tightened down. So all we got now left to do is to put our hose back on, air box, plastic line. Just reverse our steps from here. And that's it. We will have cured a P2440 code on our Chevy Impala.